Why are strong women feared, not celebrated? When a woman knows who she is, the world starts to tremble. It's fascinating how society functions. For centuries, the world has felt at ease when women have been quiet, uncertain, and dependent. They felt safe when women have needed permission to exist. But the moment a woman stands up and says, I know who I am, I know what I want, and I'm not afraid to go after it, suddenly she becomes too much, too loud, too confident, too different. But here's the truth: the world doesn't really fear women. It fears the awakening of women, because a woman who knows herself cannot be controlled. And that is unsettling for a world that thrives on control. She doesn't wait for validation. She doesn't need to be chosen. She chooses herself. And that is power. A woman who has found her voice is not a threat because she's angry, she's a threat because she's free. Her strength doesn't diminish others, it exposes their weaknesses. Her clarity forces people to confront their own confusion. Her peace unsettles those who feed on chaos. So yes, they might fear you. They might misunderstand you, but you were not created to make everyone comfortable. You were created to be whole. My sisters, if the world trembles when you walk into the room, let it. You've earned that power through every tear you've shed, every boundary you've set, every dream you've refused to abandon. You are not here to be small. You are here to stand tall. And if your confidence makes others uneasy, remember, that's their fear, not your fault. Wear their fear like a crown. They will call you difficult simply because you refuse to be silent. Isn't it strange? When a man leads, he's called decisive. But when a woman leads, she's called bossy. When a man speaks his mind, he's called confident. But when a woman does the same, she's labeled arrogant or aggressive. This is the double standard we've been battling for generations. Society praises strength in men but punishes it in women. And it's not because strength is ugly, it's because it's unexpected. We were never taught that women could be powerful without permission. But let me tell you something: your confidence isn't arrogance. It's self-awareness. It's knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less. People who haven't discovered their own strength will always mislabel yours. They'll try to make you doubt yourself, to dim your shine, to question your tone, your ambition, your voice. But hear me clearly, you are not intimidating. They are intimidated. There's a difference. Every time you speak up for yourself, you threaten the system that benefits from your silence. Every time you demand respect, you challenge generations of conditioning, and that makes people uncomfortable. But do not shrink. Do not apologize for being powerful. The world doesn't need you to be smaller, it needs you to be braver. Because when one woman dares to walk in confidence, she gives others permission to do the same. So let them talk. Let them whisper. You just keep walking tall, head high, voice steady. You're not here to please anyone, you're here to lead. Two, from the moment we're little girls, we're told to behave, not to be brave. It begins early, doesn't it? We're handed dolls and told to be gentle. We're told to smile more, talk less, and wait our turn. We're taught to make ourselves likable instead of powerful. And over time, this conditioning seeps into our bones. It teaches us that strength is something to hide, not celebrate. And yet, deep inside every woman, there's a flame, a fire that refuses to die. You can cover it, you can dim it, but you can't kill it. Because that fire is truth, its purpose, its identity. Society fears that flame because it burns through the walls they built around us. It breaks traditions that kept women small. It challenges the lie that we must be chosen to matter. When women begin to reclaim their voices, the world begins to shift. And that shift terrifies people who've been comfortable with our silence. That's why strong women are feared, not because we're wrong, but because we're changing the rules. But here's what I want every woman to know: your strength is not a rebellion, it's your birthright. You don't have to apologize for being bold, for dreaming big, or for demanding more. You have the right to take up space, to be seen, to be heard. So to every woman listening, don't let the fear of being called too much make you play small. Be brave, be loud, be unapologetically you. Because when one woman rises, she opens the door for another. And that's the legacy we're building, one fearless voice at a time. Two, they may fear your strength, but that doesn't mean you have to. Here's the thing: being a strong woman isn't easy. You'll be misunderstood, misjudged, sometimes even mistreated. People will project their insecurities onto you, and they'll call it advice. They'll say, tone it down, be humble, or don't scare people away. But what they really mean is, don't remind me of what I'm afraid to be. So how do we respond? We turn their fear into fuel. We use every no as motivation, every closed door as direction. Because strength isn't about being loud, it's about being rooted. It's about knowing who you are, even when the world doesn't clap for you. Every time they fear you, take it as proof that you're breaking barriers. Every time they doubt you, let it sharpen your resolve. Because fear is just another sign that you're stepping into uncharted territory, and that's where growth happens. And let's be honest, some people will never celebrate you because your light exposes what they refuse to face. But that's not your burden to carry. You were not put here to make everyone comfortable. You were put here to make a difference. So rise above their fears, Let your strength speak for itself. Lead with love, walk with confidence, and know this: the world may not always understand your power, but one day it will thank you for it. Because every strong woman who dared to be fearless paved the way for a generation that will no longer ask for permission to be powerful.